Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is the Arabic class from the Weekend Islamic School. And today is November 1st, 2020. And we are dealing with, the subject that we're dealing with is the sarf. The sarf is going to be the homework that related to this subject is homework number 6. Okay. So this homework is saying basically to say if the sarf is allowed, if the sarf is not allowed, and why, what rule you're following that will tell you that sarf is allowed or not allowed. So let's start with the first one. The first one is Muhammad, the name Muhammad. So I take this name Muhammad and go to the grammar book and then you say, okay, Muhammad, is he a female name? No. Does he end with alif noon? No. Does he end with alif hamza? No. Is he a regular plural? No. Is he names used as a verb? No. Okay. Is he a name transformed from a verb? No. Is he a foreign name? No. Okay. Actually, there are 6 prophet names that are not, that sarf is allowed. So it's not forbidden. So the sarf is allowed. All prophets, sarf is not allowed. They're considered foreign names. Okay. Except 6. These are the 6 exceptions here. The 6 exceptions. These are 6 exceptions of prophets that sarf is not forbidden. Okay? So sarf is not forbidden, means it's allowed. Is it a compound name? No, it's not a compound name. So we go back here and say, okay, sarf is allowed. Sarf is allowed. Cool. Okay, so therefore, Muhammad, you can add the keyboard on screen keyboard. Okay, and we click here. Okay, we click here and we see, we click here and we then we show the keyboard and change this to Arabic. Change the keyboard to Arabic. And then say Muhammad is Muhammadun. Okay, so I can have tanween, I can have kasra, everything is fine about this word. Then the second word is walad. We want to see if it's allowed or not. So we go back to the rules here. And the rules, and we look at, where are these rules? Here we go. And we go back to the rules. Say walad. Female names. Female names, no. Okay. Does it end with alif noon? No. Does it end with alif hamza or starts with alif hamza? No. Is it a regular plural? No. Is it a name that can be used as a verb? No. Is it a name transformed from a verb? No. Is it a foreign name? No. Is it a compound name? No. Therefore, it is, I want to bring this one here like that. Okay. And bring this in like that. Therefore, it is I'm just having a hard time getting to the rules. Okay. Somehow it went somewhere, I don't know where. Okay. Okay. So now we go back to the homework. Every time I click here, okay. Yes, the homework. So the homework, then it says is allowed. So you can put the default tashkil. Default tashkil is tanween, is dhamma. Okay, so you do dhamma like this here. Okay. Oh, sorry, my fault. Put the cursor here and then shift tanween. Don't forget to put the cursor here before clicking of these any of these keys. Now, صالحة, which is صالحة, end with تاء مربوطة. Okay. If we consider صالحة to be a name, then it's a female name. Then rule 1, it's not allowed. Rule 1, names of females. So it's not allowed. Based on what rule? Based on rule number 1. Case number 1. Okay? Okay. So not allowed. This one is allowed. Not allowed because of rule number 1. Rule number 1 says it's not allowed. Okay. Now, therefore, I can just put صالحة 2. صالحة 2. Default is مرفوع. صالحة 2. Okay. Can I say صالحة? No. Why not? Because صرف is forbidden. صرف is forbidden. Okay. Now, here's the catch. I can actually duplicate this row here and use the same word صالحة, but I will use صالحة for as a noun, not a name. If صالحة is, if it is, this here is noun, name. Okay? If I use صالحة as a name, or I use صالحة as a noun. Okay? If I use صالحة as a name, as a noun, if I use صالحة as a name, then according to the rules, names, female names, all female names, whether they end with تاء مربوطة or don't end with تاء مربوطة, they are all صرف. They're all صرف is not allowed because of rule 1. But if I use صالحة as a noun, not as a name, then صرف is allowed. Why is that? So for a noun and for name. Okay, so صالحة is allowed. If it's a noun, it's allowed. Why is that? Because if you go back to the rules here, this says names, does not say a noun. It says names, okay? So names, so rule number 1 doesn't apply. Rule number 2, it ends with alif noon, doesn't apply. Rule number 3, adjective ends with alif lam or starting with alif lam or both, does not apply. Here, it's not an irregular plural. Here, it's not a name that can be used as a verb. Here, it's not a name transformed from verbs. Here, it's not a foreign name. Here, it's not a compound name. Therefore, صرف is allowed. صرف is allowed. You see here the difference? So it depends on your intention. So therefore, I can go here and I can say, okay, this is here, I can say it takes a tanween dam. Okay. Okay. You see the difference? Do you see the difference? If it's name, it's different than noun. Okay. I can say the same thing about Saeed. Saeeda. Again, the same exact thing. I can say Saeeda as a name or Saeeda as a noun. Okay, same. If Saeeda as a name, then rule number 1 applies. rule number 1 applies. If Saida is named, then rule number 1 applies because it's for names. So therefore, I can say this is allowed here as a noun, but it's not allowed as a name. And I can, zari' is a noun coming from a verb, because zari' is, by the way, Muhammad, we know it, walad, boy, Saliha is righteous, and it's used in Arabic as a name. You can find a name, a girl named Saliha. Saida is also same thing. So if it's a name, it's not allowed. If it's a noun, it is allowed. If it's a name, if it's a noun, it's allowed. If it's a name, it's not allowed. Why? Rule number 1. Okay, so zara is a verb. You cannot call somebody zara. Okay, zara is a noun driven from a verb. The verb zara is a farmer or a person who farms. This is a name driven from the verb farm. So zara is coming from the word farm. So zara is farmer. The Arabic keyboard can be tricky. Farmer. Zara is farmer. Okay, so that's a name coming from a verb zara'a, which is farm. Okay, so the name is coming from the verb zara'a, so it's farm. So we go here and we look and we say it's not a name, it's a noun. Zara'a, zari', it's not a name, it's not a noun. Okay, is it a name or adjective that ends with alif two? No. Is it an adjective? Is it a noun of adjective ending or starting with alif hamza? No. Is it regular plural? No. I'm sorry, irregular plural. Is it names that can be used as a verb? No. Is it a name transformed from a verb? Yes. Okay, so farm, so this one is, sarf is not allowed. And we should change this to here, bring this keyboard, and zari'. Why? Why not zari'un? Because sarf is not allowed. Okay. Zari'ataini. Zari'ataini is not applicable. Why? If you go back to the rules, duals don't have yeah, it's not checked, doesn't apply. See here, it's not apply. Okay, so sarf here does not apply. So you say NA, not apply. And if you wish, you can say this is rule number 2. Or note number 2. If you wish, you can say note number 2, whatever. You can say here, not allowed, and we put something here says note note 2, if you wish. Note 2, if you wish. Actually, oh, I have the note here. Okay. Yep. So I don't need this. All I need to do is just go there and say, I can go there and say, okay. And I can say it's rule number 2 here. Note number 2, I'm sorry, note number 2. Because if we go back here, it is note number 2 here, because if you go back here, you find it's note number 2. Okay. Now we go down here and we say متكلم. متكلم. Okay. Okay. Hint or something like that. This one myself need to check. Okay. There. So this one I need to check. So therefore, I'm just going to leave it for later to check on that. Okay. زارعتين is 2 farmers. متكلم is a person, is a speaker. Is a speaker. I can say here also, boy. Okay, is boy, so that you know what it is. Boy. Saliha, name. Saliha is righteous. Righteous. Okay. Saida is happy. This is Saida is happy. It's a name which is also can be used as description, can be also used as adjective. Okay. Okay. So here, if it's a name, we said that if it's a name, we said we can have if it's a name, then sarf is allowed. Sarf is not allowed based on rule number 1. Rule number 1 in the table. And this one is noun, also the same. Many people call them daughters Saida. So if it's a noun, then sarf is allowed. Okay. Same thing with zara. Zara, sarf is allowed. And I'm going to check on the table to see if it's missing a case or not. Zari'ataini, not applicable. not applicable. And متكلم is a person who's speaker. ذريعتين is farmers, and it is farmers 2F. 2F. And we take this, make it some superscript, and we reduce the size. Okay, farmers 2F. So that's why double. Okay, متكلم is a speaker. And it is 1M. So speaker is 1M. And the 1M here is supposed to be superscript. It's too small. Okay. زارعين is farmers. زريعتين is farmers 2F. زارعين is farmer, but 3 plus M. 3 plus M. 3 plus M. Okay, I'm not going to spend time into formatting this, so I'll just go over it quickly. Okay, so that is, that's not, sarf is not checked for this one. Why? Because if we bring back this rule here, okay, if we bring back this rule, it says for dual and regular male plurals. Doesn't apply. So we go back here, that's farmers, 3M, 3 plus M. It's regular female plural, therefore is not checked for the same reason, which is note number 2. Okay. Okay. Naim is a sleeper. Okay. You notice here, okay, that we didn't add something here. Okay. Because sarf is allowed, so here speaker sarf is allowed, and here, yes, sarf is allowed. So this one is allowed. I don't know what changed the font on my keyboard, but I'm just going to copy it from here. Sarf is allowed. So متكلم. Okay. نائم is a sleeper. is a sleeper. Na'imun is a sleeper. Okay. And it's sleeper 1M. And let me ask you a question here to see. So a sleeper, it is going to be sleepers. Oh no, actually sleeper because it's 1M. So sarf is allowed. So we go sarf is allowed. So we go Arabi here and we say it's na'imun. Okay. So here, not applicable. Not applicable. Okay. Sarf is not applicable according to note number 2. Okay. Na'im is allowed. So there is no rule to mention if it's allowed. Okay. Okay. So now one question I'll see if you guys can answer this question. One question is, how do I know that this is a female noun? How do I know that this is a female noun?
تاء مربوطة.
تاء مربوطة, exactly, because the تاء مربوطة. Okay. How do I know? Okay, this is the noun, but the name is not allowed here. So you put the cursor first on the letter, and then you do the dhamma. Okay. So it ends with ta marbuta. Therefore, it is sarf is not allowed. Okay. This zari'un is farmer 1M. How do I know it's 1M? How do I know it's 1M? Okay, I go back to the table here, to the book, and then I go there, okay, and I go at summary table, 250. And by the way, you also have a table of contents on the top here. So if you want to go to 280, you just click on it. Take you to 280. If you want, so this one is, you get this one by going into view, navigation pane, see? So you can navigate quickly through the rules book. If you open it in PDF, then you will find this one. This is if I need a rule, all I need to do is just click on, let's say, rule 1170. Here, 1170. Okay? Okay. So, rule, we look at the summary table. And by the way, something nice about the navigation pane is that you can collapse like this, or you uncollapse like that. That's a nice thing about the feature that you want to use. So we go to the summary table. Okay, and the summary table, in the summary table. Just a note here, this is not always true. This is not always true. However, I teach you regular. I teach you regular. So if it's a regular, then it's true, always true. If it's irregular, then isn't always true. And we say here, we call this irregulars. Irregulars. So if you have, if let's say, we're talking about, which one here? We're talking about, yes, how do we know Zari'un is a one male? If we go there, table, you notice that if it's a single name or noun, but every name is a noun, but not every noun is a name. You understand that? Every name is a noun, but not every noun is a name. Doesn't end with ta marbuta, doesn't end with alif noon, doesn't end with ya noon, doesn't end with waw noon. So what it is, regular one male. Okay, so we go back here, okay, and I put regular one male here, and I put regular one male here. How do I know that this is for two females? Is that I go back to the same table, okay, female 2F ends the ta, following the ta, you put alif noon or waw or ya noon. So following the ta, it will have either ta noon or ya noon. So which one do we have there? Which one do we have in the homework? We have where is it? Yes, here. We have 2F because it ends with ya noon. Ta ya noon. Okay? Same thing here. This one I can tell it's one male because it's not, doesn't end with ta marbuta, it doesn't end with alif noon, doesn't blah blah. Same thing that we know that this is also one male. How do I know that Zari'ina is, how do I know Zari'ina is three plus male regular? I go back here. I see, okay. Regular three male, okay. It ends with waw noon or ya noon. Ends with waw noon or ya noon. Okay. So it ends with waw noon or ya noon. How do I know it's not this one? This one is also ending by ya noon. It's not ending by alif noon, it's ending by ya noon. It is that the difference between this one and this one is mentioned here. Okay. لاعبين, so that you notice the difference. لاعبين and لاعبين. لاعبين and لاعبين. Okay. لاعبين or لاعبين. Make them big. باء ياء باء باء فتحة نون كسرة is 2M. باء كسرة نون فتحة is 3 plus M. So I go back here and see which one of them it is. Look, it is, look which one it is. عين كسرة نون فتحة. عين كسرة نون فتحة. عين كسرة عين كسرة نون فتحة. So كسرة ياء فتحة. كسرة ياء فتحة. Okay. Now sleeper 1M for the same reason. صرف is allowed for the same reasons. صرف is allowed for the same reason. Okay. Now, how do I know it's one male? Again, we go back to the table and we see that it's one name. Why? Again, just as a repetition. It doesn't end with female ta, alif noon or waw noon. It doesn't end with ta marbuta. It doesn't end with ta ta'nith. It doesn't end with ya noon or waw noon. Doesn't end with ya noon or waw noon. Doesn't end with, here this one is doesn't end with alif noon and ya noon. Doesn't end with ya noon or waw noon. Doesn't end with ta alif ta. Doesn't end with alif ta. Okay. And it's not irregular. Okay. Because it's a single. So therefore it is here. This is how I know it is ya noon. I'm sorry, how can I tell if it's one male or one female, or what's kind of verb is that? Okay. The word sharib is drinker. Drinker. You ask me, how do I know about that? How do I know that sharib is drinker? And it's 1M. How do I know that? How do I know that? I can copy this and then go to the usual mishkal. I'm sorry, dictionary. Okay, so I go to dictionary, Google Translator. I pasted this one here. Okay, I select Arabic. So it says mustache. Well, but it has other names, other meanings as well. And which means a drinker, a person who drinks here. Sharib, man yashrab, who's drinking. Let me make this one bigger. Okay. Sharib, mustache. Sharib, mustache. Or sharib, drinker. Or sharib, somebody who's somebody has something in the hair. Mustache too. So it gives you basically drinker and mustache. Two meanings, drinker and mustache. So the one we said here is drinker. Now, how do you tell whether it's, I ask how I intend the drinker or mustache? It doesn't matter. If you do either one of them, it's going to be the same result. So that one deserves tanween. That one deserves tanween. By the way, you can go back, review this video, and you can find these answers. So when you do the homework and you weren't paying attention, then you go back to the video. It's posted online. So this one ends. This one ends with ta'nith, but this is a noun. La'iba is player. Is a noun. Player. Player. Again, Google Translator is going to give you player, one female, because it ends with ta'nith. This is, make it small. One F is a superscript. This one. Okay, so player is noun. Is a noun that describe players, la'ibatun, that describe the translation of a person, that this person is player. Okay, why one female? Because it ends with ta'nith. Okay, let's pick something something like this one. Zari'aini should be Zari'aini. Because it's not applicable according to rule number. According to rule number 2. According to number 2, rule number 2. Okay. Na'imani, also that needed the kasra. I should have put it as a kasra here. Okay. But the reason I didn't put it, I wanted you to find out that this is kasra. How do I find out that na'imani? Well, na'imani is a dual or double dual. So that will tell me na'imani is dual. Zari'aini is dual also. How do I know it's dual? Because it has kasra ya, fatha ya, kasra. Fatha ya, kasra. And we go back here and we see that fatha ya, kasra, it's 2 male. Is anything difficult here? Are you guys following me? Okay. And let's do a couple more. Let's do la'ibatani. Now you develop the experience. If it is tani, then it's female. It is players, and it is players 2N, 2F. Okay, players 2F. here. My mouse is giving me a hard time. Players 2F. How do I know? I go back to this table and it is 2 female here. Ta noon or ya noon. Ta alif noon or ta ya noon. Okay, so it's a female. So not applicable. And baqarat, you take it, it's cows. Why? Because it ends with alif ta. We'll go back to the table. We find that the ones that ends with the alif ta is 3 plus female. So we go back here and then we say it's 2 female. Cows, 3 plus female. Cows, okay. 3 plus female. And decrease the size and make this a superscript. So now, what do we do with this? We go back to here, to the rules and see what is baqarat. What's the rule for baqarat? So we go to rule 280, okay? And we go down here. Okay, for regular female plural, fatha is not allowed and tanween is allowed. Of course, we know that just a general rule, and I want to make it big box. If there is alif lam, there is the sarf subject is totally irrelevant. If there is alif lam, then this subject 280 is totally irrelevant. And I should put this one in a big note here that if there is alif lam, then there is no tanween, period. If there's no alif lam, no tanween. Okay? Okay. So we go here and we say, this is note number 3. Note number 3. This is allowed according to note number 3. According to rule number 3. According to rule number 3, or note number 3. So rule number 3. Note number 3. Note number 3. Note number 3. Okay. Any questions? The video will be there. You can review the video. You can finish the table. And the one that's published is not this one. See how I started with this file? This is the way you're going to find it. So you will not see these things that I've added. You will see them only in the video. But in the homework, you're going to see that this is what you're going to see in the homework. You're going to see this. So what's homework, what, 5? This is what you're going to see without my notes. What? Oh yeah, it's homework number 6. Yeah. So that's the homework will be published. If you want to find out, if you want to answer the ones, if you want to get an answer for the ones we already answered, you can come over here and just see the video. Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Any questions? Assalamu alaikum, everybody.